Hey everybody, it's Mr. Morfetto, and today I want to talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ. I found this article on thegamer.com, Dragon Ball FighterZ 10 characters who should have been DLC. I mean, since we are soon going to be having Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 added to our roster in March, I believe the 8th or the 7th, somewhere around there. Yes, 2 days early for the people who have the, what's it called, Fighter Pass Season 3, but I am personally not a big fan of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 possibly being our last character we will ever see in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Until we get a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, or they decide to debut Season 4 of the Season 4 Fighters Pack, or whatever you'd call it. Fighter Pack Season 4. I feel Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 is a terrible character to leave us off on. There's so much potential, and I'm going to read this article. I kind of skimmed over it, but I haven't actually read it yet. And I'm going to comment on these 10 they think should be in the game. I believe there should be a Season 4. I am not looking to buy all these characters again if a FighterZ 2 is announced. I'm hoping if there is a FighterZ 2, they carry over every character that's currently in the games. So anybody we have to pay for going forward should be new. We should not have to pay for any of these characters again, but they want to make money, so they could totally cut us out of all the characters we've just paid for and just give us 20 characters in the next game and make us buy 20 more characters pack at a time. It's ridiculous, and we will. But these are 10 characters who should have been DLC. And this is assuming that we aren't going to get any more DLC going forward. Number 10, Pan. Since Goku from Dragon Ball GT has recently, well, this must be kind of an old article. Since Goku from GT has been added, it's opened up the floodgates for all GT characters. Pan is certainly not the best character on this list, but she fills a nearly empty void in this game. To be blunt, the roster desperately needs females. When compared to other top fighting games like Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, the number of female characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ is paltry. This is more due to Dragon Ball as an IP not having a very robust amount of female characters, but even so, characters like Pan, who has at least proved herself in Dragon Ball GT, is more appealing than Vidal, whose biggest character trait is being Gohan's wife and Mr. Satan's daughter. I disagree with that last line there. I believe Vidal is a great character in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I kill people with Vidal constantly. She's very easy to use for people who aren't very good, like myself. And she keeps me at a Super Saiyan 2 rank. So I think Vidal's a great character. And her character in Majin Buu Saga, personally to me, was more appealing than Pan's character in the GT saga of Dragon Ball. So, yeah, I would definitely take Vidal over Pan if that's what they're saying. But yes, this game does need female characters desperately. And GT Pan, in my opinion, would have been a better character than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because at least it would get us another female character who has a lot of potential character-wise in the series that hasn't been really utilized yet, especially not in GT and not yet in Super because she's still a baby. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having Pan in the game. So the gamer, whoever wrote this, let's see if there's a name. James Robertson wrote this little article for the gamer. Nail is his number 9. Speaking of underrepresentation, what about the Nameks? Seems people tend to forget that there was a planet full of them before it blew up. One of the most notable outside of Piccolo is Nail. In his short amount of screen time, Nail put up an admirable fight with Frieza before eventually falling and then fusing with Piccolo. Since fusion forms a few different characters appear in the game with separate beings that make them, it isn't too much a stretch to ask for a character who fused with Piccolo at one time. This is a fighting game after all. Regardless of power level, fighting games should always strive to be as balanced as they possibly can. Yeah, I agree. The game is in desperate need of at least one more Namek. They could probably put 2 more Nameks, and Nail is definitely up there. If not a Namek, I don't know. They need more alien characters, definitely. But if I had to choose out of the Nameks that we could choose from, Kami is definitely not a character I would want in this game. So he's out. But you got Nail, Lord Slug, and King Piccolo. 3 really cool characters that already have a decent moveset thanks to the show alone. With Baby in the game, he can do the transformation level 3 golden ape form. There's no reason Lord Slug can't be in this game and do the transformation into giant Namek and fuck people up. Honestly, I would take Lord Slug over Nail, because it also checks the box of another villain and another movie character. Checks both those boxes. And another Namekian. Lord Slug would be my choice out of those 2, but I would never choose Lord Slug over King Piccolo. King Piccolo should be in this damn game, and I've already made an entire video about that. But Lord Slug is who I'd pick over Nail, definitely. And he could go right on the right next to Janemba and all the other movie villains. It'd be great. He's got a lot of potential. I like his character. I like his voice, English voice actor. I liked. It's cool. All right, number 8. This is Super Boo. Might as well complete the triple threat with 17 being added. That makes all 3 major androids available, so why not all 3 forms of Boo as well? Super Boo may be the roughest villain to come out of Dragon Ball Z and has the sloppiest written arc in the entire series, entire anime, but that's what will make him a fun character to play as, if done right. Think of something like Seth from Street Fighter, a character who basically has access to moves from a number of characters across the roster, sprinkled throughout his normals and special moves. His supers could be a combination of things, along with his own signatures. Each one could also transform him into any of his costumes he donned in the anime, depending on the super, which would be too silly not to do. Yes, Super Boo would be a fun character. I personally don't really like playing as Kid Boo or Fat Boo, because they don't have any character. They're decent characters to play as, but they just yell gibberish most of the time. Same with Janemba, but he's pretty cool looking, and he's pretty easy to play as. But Kid Boo and Fat Boo they don't have a lot of personality. They have their own uniqueness to them, yes, but Super Boo would actually talk. And it would be interesting if he had a game mechanic where before you go out into the fight, he could have a different absorption from the show. And Gotenks absorbed, Piccolo absorbed, and Gohan absorbed. They have those 3 outfits, and he could have 3 different movesets that copies them in most of the way. And they could just literally copy those characters' movesets and be Boo. And it would just be a little different. It'd be basically a skin for these 3 characters, but into one character. Easy for them to do, in my opinion. Super Boo would be really fun. You'd have 3 different versions of him. You can choose, kind of like Vidal changing to long hair, but with these 3 Boos, just with different shirts on and different personalities. I guess you could also go with the Boo, just the Boo before he absorbs Gotenks, without the nose. But that'd be a little more complicated because they talk completely different. But if they just wanted Boo with the nose, Super Boo with the nose, they could do it. They could even throw in some transformations from Budokai 2 when he absorbs Cell and Frieza and Tien and I think Vegeta. That'd be sick. That would be fun. That'd be pretty freaking cool. Sarbon is their number 7, one of Frieza's right-hand men. Sarbon gave the Prince of Saiyans a run for his money before his Zenkai boost, promptly bopping the guy in the second fight. And that's what he wrote here. Sarbon is interesting in that he usually avoids powering up to his second form, makes him very ugly. I'd imagine he'd have a very Vega-like bravado in the game. Through his mannerisms before and after fights, he's all about beauty. It'd be funny to have him make a little quip about not wanting to transform before he does a super. Getting styled on by Pretty Boy in a fight never feels good, and that's what makes him great. Yeah, Sarbon would be cool. I'd only want Sarbon if he had a Dodoria assist. Because Sarbon is a cool character, but in my opinion, he would need that Dodoria assist just to put him over that next little level, and it'd be the two characters in one. They both could enter and say a little quirk, just like 17 and 18 does. That'd be fun. Personally, I wouldn't choose this pair. If you're going to do a pair of side villains, C villains, not B, even B villains. These are C villains. I would choose Dr. Gero and Android 19 as a pair. I think I'd put Android 19 as the fighter and Dr. Gero as the assist. Because that's kind of how it was in the show. But I would fight as Dr. Gero too. They think those characters are totally underutilized in the video games. So yes, I agree though. Sarbon and Dodoria would be cool. And yes, better than Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. Alright, number 6, Raccoon. 100% agree with this. I haven't read it yet. Raccoon should be playable. You should be able to be either Ginyu and the Ginyu Force, or Raccoon and the Ginyu Force as assist. That should be it. Raccoon is one of my absolute favorite villains of all time. And I love the Ginyu Force, but he's my fave. So, possibly the silliest member of the Ginyu Force. Yes, he was pretty silly. They made him sound really silly in the dub after the Ocean dub. I personally love the way that Raccoon is in the Team 4-Star version. Very dramatic wrestler style character. Makes so much sense. Would trade that in over any of his dubs so far. I do not like his very dumb persona that he takes, I believe, in the Funimation dub. I don't know. Or the Kai dub, whatever it is. I don't like it as much as I preferred the Ocean dub version of Raccoon, where he was a little more sinister. He seemed a little more methodical. He was a big brute. But yeah, he was a little more methodical, character-wise. Let's keep going. If there is at least one other person from the Ginyu Force that needs to be added, it's this guy. His normals and special moves could all be dialed, could be dance-related. His compulsive nature of yelling out his moves before doing them, even when they aren't all that special, just screams, "Put me in this game." His supers would no doubt be the silliest and the most enjoyable spectacles in the game. Yes, 100%. Yes, I would take Raccoon over pretty much every DLC character in Season 5 or Season 3 that have come out or been announced. Raccoon is one of my favorite villains, and I think his fight with Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin was fan-freaking-tastic. One of the best fights in all Dragon Ball Z. He had better fights than Captain Ginyu did. Definitely deserves to be in this game as a separate character. He has so much potential. He has his own unique moveset, a full moveset. he'd be so much fun. I don't even care what dub we get. He makes it work. All right, number 5, Caulifla. Let me skip down here. Caulifla and Kale are number 5 and 4. It looks like. Let me see. Caulifla, while technically not the first female Saiyan in Dragon Ball, Caulifla is the first female Super Saiyan and is proving to be one of the most popular characters introduced in Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, that's definitely true. She's definitely up there. It's not as cool as Hit. As mentioned before, Dragon Ball FighterZ really needs more female characters. Since it's already dipped its toes well into Super, it might as well add some significant firepower to the roster, offered by new female characters with access to as high as Super Saiyan 2 levels of power. Her normal specials and supers can be just as flashy as anybody else's in the game without the addition of a male assist character. Totally. I was just talking about this in my Vidal video I recently did. The fucking they should add Caulifla. And every female character has a male assist, or they're a fusion of 2 females. It's crazy. Yes, they should have Caulifla and Kale separately in the game. They have Goku and Vegeta in all their fusions, and I mean, yeah, 100%. And then here, Caulifla's best friend and current legendary Super Saiyan of her universe. It would almost be criminal to add one of these ladies without the other. Affectionately titled the female Broly, Kale may have a shy and meek personality in her base form, but that's what makes her perfect for this game. Kale has the gift and the curse of being the legendary Super Saiyan of her universe. Basically, this means she has a powered up form that gives her great strength, but strips her of her consciousness. Sorry, I can't say it. In this case, a duo super would actually make sense instead of relying on another character to blow themselves up in order for a player character to do their super move, or have another character straight up jump in on their super just because. I think he's talking about Android 18's super. Caulifla could actually be a real assist to Kale. Yeah, Kale could rage out in legendary form for a second before Caulifla steps in to calm her down. Super Saiyan 2 form, they both lose a devastating move. Yeah, they could do that move they did in the Tournament of Power. It'd make a lot of sense. That's what they should do. They should have Kale with Caulifla as the assist, and when they do the opening sequence, Caulifla could do most of the talking. She's the voice. She talks a lot. Kale is a freaking badass in the Dragon Ball Super manga. They write her as like she knows she's powerful, because every time that Caulifla's in trouble, Kale does some sneaky, super fast move that fucking takes out whoever they're fighting, or annoys Frieza. But yeah, they make Kale seem like a total badass in the manga. Ooh, right here, number 3, Deborah. I have done a whole video about why Deborah should be in the game, but let's see what this guy's got to say. The King of Demons himself, Deborah, was a secondary antagonist in the Majin Buu saga, but his presence was primary tier. How has this guy not been added yet? It's a crying shame. His design is A1. He has one of the best names in Dragon Ball, and he can turn people into stone by spitting on them. Just imagine all the setup potentials this guy could have just with this ability alone. Deborah could make a better DLC character than at least half of the other characters that have already been added. No doubt about it. 100%. I made an entire video about why Deborah should be in the game. He's got a great look. He's got a really unique move set. He could have been the main antagonist of his own saga if they wanted to. He had a cool background being the King of Demons. Come on, add Deborah. Watch my other video about why Deborah should be in the game. Number 2, Pycon. A character exclusive to the anime, Pycon is introduced in a filler episode. Nevertheless, his performance is legendary. Shout out to the green skin characters. Pycon is a beast. He took out Cell, Frieza, and King Cold in Hell before giving Goku a fight he won't soon forget during the other world tournament. He's proved himself to at least be Super Saiyan levels of strength, with him being an anime exclusive character with a super slick design, awesome personality, and he has the credentials of being a great DLC character. 100%, Pycon should be in the game. If you're not going to add King Piccolo, if you're not going to add another Namek to the game, you should add Pycon. He would fill the role of another green character. It'd be fun. He's got his own moveset. He's a filler character. He's one of the few filler characters that's so fleshed out. I feel like he's canon. He's canon to me in my heart. And I think he should be in the game as well. Number 1, Raditz. This one should be an absolute no-brainer. Who else but Raditz should be a DLC character? The first major baddie of Dragon Ball Z and Goku's brother. Goku, the main character's brother. Raditz is arguably a bigger throwback than Goku himself. His design was ahead of its time. Raditz was rocking the Super Saiyan 3 hairstyle before it was cool. On top of that, Raditz defines naming moves in Dragon Ball Z. He has some of the best and most enjoyable move names of all time, with the majority being derived from days of the week like Saturday Crush, Double Sunday. Raditz is a true OG Dragon Ball character. It would be nothing short of disappointing if he never makes it into the game as DLC. Yes, 100%. It's a travesty of justice that Raditz is not in the game. I don't think I've done a whole video about that one yet, but I should. I've thought about it. Raditz should be in the game. He should have been in the base game, to be honest. But Raditz deserves to be in this game. He has one of the best fights in Dragon Ball when he fights Piccolo and Goku. One of that 2-on-1 Piccolo and Goku rivals teaming up for the very first time against Raditz, who is by far the strongest villain we've ever seen into this point. They really belittled Raditz with the Cybermen later on, Nappa and Vegeta. But Raditz was a really cool character, and the fact that they let him stay dead, being Goku's brother, is crazy. And I understand because he's a bad guy, but look, they let Vegeta get redeemed. You think Goku would think about his brother more? I mean, either way, the video games should have included Raditz in Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's crazy that he wasn't in the base game. It makes me feel like they had one too many characters, and they looked at the roster and they were like, Nappa or Raditz? They flipped a coin, and then Raditz was out, which is crazy. He could have had more unique conversations with characters like Gotenks, Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Nappa. If Nappa's not in the game, but then no. But yeah, Frieza, Bardock, Kid Goku, GT Goku, whatever. He could have so many unique conversations with characters that are already in the game. And in the story mode, it would have been interesting if they let him redeem himself a little bit somehow, with Goku being back alive, character-wise. Even if it's just in the video game, it would have been something I'd pop for. And a lot of his fans would pop for, just to see Raditz and Goku fight together. That'd be super cool. Raditz should be in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Hands down. Team him up with Nappa and OG Vegeta. I'm Mr. Morfetto. What'd you think of this little article that The Gamer has up, written by James Robinson? I liked it. He had a lot of good ideas. I don't disagree with any of them. I would just change out Nail for Lord Slug or King Piccolo, and Sarbon for Android 19. But that's it. Other than that, great article. Great ideas. I'm Mr. Morfetto. I can't wait for them to add the last character in Dragon Ball FighterZ, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, on March 7th or 8th, whatever it is. I can't remember. Personally, not a big fan of this character, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they announce another season of Dragon Ball Season 4 DLC. in March or April. Hopefully right when they drop this character, we'll get some ideas of what's coming next. FighterZ 2, more DLC, who knows? What do you think should come? I'm Mr. Morfetto. Please like, share, comment. Let me know what you think, who should be in Dragon Ball